Hello everyone, welcome to this video where we are required to simplify the following. Do notice what Mr. Tan would do. Mr. Tan, when I see 5a and there's no denominator, this is what Mr. Tan would do. Mr. Tan would actually write over 1. And so, what we have learned thus far would then be that the numerator times the numerator, meaning 5a times c square, that will give me 5ac square over the denominator times the denominator, and that will give me 1ab. Usually we don't write the number 1 down there, okay? And after which, from this part here, then we could then continue to simplify, because I see there's a common denominator. I could divide by a, and therefore the final answer will be 5c square over b. And we have come to the end of this problem. So if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day as we move on to other parts of the problem. Hello everyone, welcome to this video where we will solve this particular problem to simplify the following. From here, the first step was actually to make sure that we change the divide to the times. When we divide by a fraction, it is the same as multiplying the reciprocal, meaning 3mx over 4m cubed x. Okay, then at this point I would then combine to a single fraction first, meaning the numerator times the numerator, and I will get 8 times 3 is 24. My m times m will be m power 2. You could also write it as m times n. It's perfectly fine. Later on we could continue to simplify. X power 3 times x is actually x power 4, but I will write it in this form so that later on I would simplify further. Denominator times the denominator, that will give me 30 times 4 is 120. X, and x is x power 2. M power 3, I'm going to write it in this form so that now I could continue to simplify. Okay. Now, 24 over 120, we could actually divide by 24. So give me 1. While 120 divided by 24, this will give me a value of 5. M divided by m, m divided by m, x divided by x, left 1, x divided by x, left 1, and therefore my final answer, 1, x times x will be x power 2. I'm going to write the final answer on the other side so that you can see this equals to x power 2 over 5m. With that, we have come to the end of this part of the problem. So please feel free to give the video a thumbs up as we move on to solve the other parts of this problem. Hello everyone, welcome to this video where we are required to simplify the following. So I saw that there is a dividing by a fraction. So the first thing is then we should do is to make sure that the divide will change to times, because we are multiplying by the reciprocal, meaning a over 2b squared. This one is still the same. And I will have a squared b. And after which, we can then have the numerator times the numerator times the numerator. This will give me 8. There is 1a, 2a, 3a, there is 1b, and there is 1c. Over denominator times the denominator times the denominator. 6 times 2 will give me 12. There is a square here, so I will have a times a. There's a b square times b total, b times b times b, and there is a c power 2, so c times c. And from here, 8 over 12, I could divide by 4 to give me 2, divide by 4 to give me 3, a divide by a divide by a, b divide by b, c divide by c, and finally I would then be able to get my final answer. And my final answer would be, for the numerator is 2 times a, 2a, over, my denominator would then be 3, b times b, b power 2. Not forgetting the last one, c. There's a c down there. And we have come to the end of this part of the problem. So if you like what you are seeing, do feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Hello everyone, welcome to this video where we are required to simplify the following. And the moment I see all the terms, if we could factorize, we factorize, and that is the first thing that comes to my mind. I am going to factorize this. Okay, so I also saw that there is this w minus r and r minus w, and in my mind then, for the green color portion, then I would want to try and make sure that I can make them the same. So this is on a special note that I remember w minus r. If I were to take out a negative, then the w has to become a negative w, and the r has to become a positive w, such that negative times negative does give me back my positive w. Negative 1 times positive r does give me back my negative r. And so to write this in perspective, this will become this, and actually if r is positive, I could write as r in front. W is negative, so I'm going to write it as negative w. So that w minus r and negative r minus w, they are equal to each other, meaning they are equivalent forms. Okay, they are equivalent. Equivalent means that we could then write it as such. I would then write w minus r as negative r minus w. Okay, so w minus 2 bracket square, I will write it as w minus 2 bracket square. Factorize 7w minus 14, take out 7 as the common factor. And this is still R minus W, just that now I'm going to write a bracket so that it's easier to see. And when I combine numerator times numerator, I just need to write them down neatly. Negative times positive, negative. There's a 7. There's a R minus W. And there's a W minus 2. You don't have to expand and simplify, okay? And for the denominator, you have this. W minus 2 times W minus 2 times R minus W. And at this point, if you see a bracket that are the same, you could divide them off, meaning R minus W, divide off to give me 1 over 1. W minus 2, divide off to get me the 1 over 1. And so, the final answer would then be equals to negative 7 over W minus 2. Negative 7 over W minus 2. And you could choose to write the bracket or not, doesn't matter. With that, we have come to the end of this problem. So if you like what you are seeing, do give it a thumbs up and subscribe as we move on to the next problem now. Hello everyone, welcome to this video where we are required to simplify the following. And the very first question that you need to ask yourself is, can I factorize all the numerator or denominator? Yes, we could. So for example, I am going to factorize this by taking out the common factor. 3 and c. And I'm left with 6 divided by 3 will be 2. And one of the c is taken out, so I'm left with c. 3c is taken out, left d. Yep. And I could also do the same for this by taking out d as the common factor. And I'm left with 3c plus 2d. One of the d is taken out. I could also do the same for this by taking out the common factor c. And I'm left with 3c plus 2d. And the last one, how do I factorize this? Let's turn our attention to the left side of this screen. Do remember that I'm going to make use of a squared minus b squared equals to a plus b times a minus b. So in this case, we have 4c squared minus d squared. I'm going to rewrite it as 4c squared. How do I rewrite it? 2 squared. 2 times 2 gives me 4. C times c gives me c squared. So 2c bracket square. This one is pretty straightforward, is d. So from here, you will be able to get the factorized form. And therefore, I'm going to write this here. Alright. And at this point in time, then I could combine everything into a single fraction. The numerator times the numerator. So you will see 3c times c. That will give me 3c squared. I still have my brackets, 2c minus d. I also have my 3c plus 2d. The denominator, d and 3c plus 2d. From here, the 2d. Not forgetting my 2c plus d, 2c minus d. And after which, let me observe. Is there any brackets or any factors that are the same that I could divide off? Yes, there is. So this means that I could divide off. I could also divide off 3c plus 2d. And therefore, final answer, 3c squared over d times 2c plus d. And that will be the final answer. Alright, we have come to the end of this part of the problem. So if you like what you're seeing, do feel free to give it a thumbs up. Have a nice day. Hello everyone, welcome to this video where we are required to simplify the following. The very first thing would be to, I could factorize the following. And that's what I would do. So at the right hand side, you will start to see me writing all the factorization out. Alright, so for w squared plus 3w plus 2, I'm going to tap on my cross chart. And I will have my w squared here, positive 2, and my 3w. So that here w times w will give me w squared. 2 times 1 will give me my 2, and because I have a positive 3w, this works out just nice. 2w plus 1w is 3w. I will get my factorized form, which would be w and positive 2, w and positive 1. W positive plus 4, this one we cannot factorize, so I leave it as it is. I continue to use my cross chart to factorize this. So again, you will see me writing this down. W squared negative 4, and I will need to get a 3w. So w times w will give me my w squared. And I notice the negative, meaning I must choose 1 times 4 or 2 times 2, which pair will be able to give me a 3 if I minus them. Yes, 1 and 4. Because then here I will have my 4w, multiply, I'll get my 1w, and because I need a positive 3w, 4 minus 1 will give me my positive 3. And indeed, if I were to have negative 1 times 4, I will still get back my negative 4. Okay, so at this point, I would get my factorization, w negative 1 and w positive 4, which is what you will see me writing here. And I continue to factorize this last expression here, 2w squared plus w minus 1. Again, I will rely on my cross chart. So there's only 2w times w. For 1, that can only be 1 times 1. So I will have my 2w, 1w. Now is to consider the negative one. I must be able to get a positive 1w, and I realize that 2 minus 1 does give me a positive 1. So therefore my negative must be there, such that negative times positive still give me my negative. So I got my answer. And this will be the factorized form. 2w negative 1 w positive 1. And now then we can then combine neatly into a single fraction. W plus 2, w plus 1, w minus 1, w plus 4. Below will be w plus 4, 2w minus 1, and w plus 1. And at this time, then I could then observe which brackets or the factors are the same. W plus 1, meaning I could divide them off to give me 1 over 1. W plus 4, I could divide them off to give me 1 over 1. And therefore, final answer, w plus 2, w minus 1. You do not have to expand out, just leave it in this factorized form. You can also continue to write the bracket, it's perfectly fine. With that, we have come to the end of this segment. So if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Hello everyone, welcome to this video where we are required to simplify the following. Step 1, I saw that it is a division. So I'm going to just make sure that when we divide by a fraction, this fraction here, we will have to do something to it. Divide will become a multiply, because divide by this fraction is the same as multiplying by the what we call the reciprocal. And after which is to consider, can we factorize these two? And yes, we could. So if you observe at the right side, that's where I'm going to factorize. I'm going to factorize 1, 2, 1 minus y square and a square minus y square. So do take note, we are now going to apply this special product. So my 1, 2, 1 minus y square, I could rewrite it as 1, 2, 1 is 11 square minus y square. Okay, and therefore I could rewrite it as 11 plus y, 11 minus y, and that's what you will see in my next line of the working. 11 plus y, 11 minus y. A square minus y square, I could rewrite it as a plus y, a minus y. Yep. So we still multiply by y plus a, y minus 11. At this point, do take note, I'm going to do something interesting. Because I see y minus 11, I am going to rewrite 11 minus y as negative y minus 11. Oh, are they the same? Yes, because negative times positive will give me back my negative y. Negative times negative will give me back my positive 11. So they are indeed still equal to each other, meaning they are equivalent forms. And so you would see me rewriting this as negative y minus 11. I still have my 11 plus y. I am going to multiply by the y plus a. And do take note, y plus a is the same as a plus y. Okay, these two are the same, okay? Below, I still have my a plus y, a minus y, and my y minus 11. And now it's the time for us to see if there's any bracket, which is the factors that are exactly the same. Yes, a plus y, meaning I could divide off. That will give me 1 over 1. Y minus 11. I could again divide off to give me 1 over 1. And therefore, the final answer, which I will write at the side here, let me just make it neater. Would then be equals to negative 11 plus y, this is at the top, over negative 11 plus y, the denominator will be a minus y. You could also put the bracket, it's perfectly fine. With that, we have come to the end of this problem. So if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Hello everyone, welcome to this video where we are required to simplify the following. And I see that we are dividing by a fraction. So the very first thing for me to do would then be to make sure that when we divide by a fraction, it is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. Next, I checked to see if we could factorize anything for the numerator and denominator, and yes, we could, and therefore this one would simply be common factor 5. I'm left with 2a minus b. A minus b squared, I will rewrite it as a minus b times a minus b. Still gonna multiply. And a square minus b square, this is a special product. A plus b, a minus b. Last but not least, I saw that we could factorize these. Okay, using the cross chart, so at the side you will start to see me factorizing it by making use of my cross chart. So I would have my 2a squared and my negative b squared here. This one will be my ab positive. There's only 2a times a to give me 2a squared, and there's only b times b. Yep. This will give me 2ab. This will give me a times b. Now is to consider the negative sign. And in order for me to get a positive AB, it must be 2 minus 1. 2AB minus 1AB. Meaning the negative sign is here, such that I still have my negative b times b gives me negative b squared. And so I have successfully gotten my factorized form. 2a minus b A positive B. Alright. And now we are ready to continue to simplify it. I will combine all into a single fraction. This will be A minus B, A minus B, 2A minus B, A plus B. And at this point, then it's for us to see, is there any bracket of factors that are, which is the factors itself that is the same? 2A minus B, 2A minus B. So I could divide them off to give me 1. A plus B, that will give me, divide off to give me 1. A minus B, again, I could divide off. And so the final answer for this problem would be equals to, the top is 5 times 1 times 1 times 1. Yep, it will be equals to 5 over A minus B. Alright, you could write A minus B as it is, or you could also write as a bracket. It's perfectly fine. With that, we have come to the end of this video. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.